Hey everyone, Joe here from Action X. Welcome to What's in the Tube. Welcome back. It's been a while since I did this. If you're unaware, I lost my voice the past few days. I was unable to do the Stargirl review live. I was unable to do our brand new Doom Patrol season 4 episode reviews live. But now I'm back. I'm still a little shaken. I feel like my voice is like 80% back. So I'm like, you know what? I've been dying to watch the Stargirl finale, and to be honest with you, it really delivered. It definitely felt like one of those finales where like it's one of those unfortunate finales where it is the final episode. This wasn't meant to be the final episode, but thankfully they shot something to kind of indicate like this is a good sense of closure. It definitely is not what they wanted to do. And it's clear as day that they clearly had more ideas on the table to tell more stories. It's just the unfortunate the unfortunate times of how A, network television is changing, B, new ownership with the CW, and also C, with the ever changing direction with the current management over at DC. So it just sucks that this came out a little too late. I feel like had this show came out maybe like a year or two earlier, we might have gotten at least a much more complete story to tell. It just sucks that we didn't get to like see the full potential of this story, which I said before. I think Stargirl is, I think, one of the best modern day DC TV shows of the bunch, next to now Superman, Lois, and a lot of others. But you know, it just, this season, and we're going to talk about this later on this week with the season 3 review. I think this season may have had some misfooting with the direction, but I feel like this was the most impactful season of the bunch, and this final episode made me want to see a season 4. It made me want to see the season 5 they talked about, the season 6 they talked about. I want to see those seasons, and the fact that we never will, most likely, it's a never say never type of exploitation. But considering how it's a show about teenagers and everything and such, like there just probably isn't going to be an opportunity to tell those stories anytime soon, at least in this medium. Who knows? But for me, just to get into the actual review, because I keep punting it a bit, I thought this was a great finale. It serves as a great season finale, a good series finale, and it sucks that this is how the story had to end for the show. And I was really, really quite hopeful to see where more adventures would have taken the cast next, what a season 4 could have looked like. But with that being said, let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about the finale for Stargirl. So we begin with a flashback 9 months ago. So this takes place roughly around the time the season 1 finale occurred. So well, a little bit around there, where they dug up Sylvester's body, the combined duo of Dragon King and Icicle. They resurrected Sylvester, period. This wasn't just we just got the body and we put it in a life. No, so they resurrected him. I don't know exactly how resurrections work on this Earth. Obviously, there's other Earths that are like, you can resurrect the body, but there's no soul. But I guess just for the simplicity, say they resurrected Sylvester with its original personality, and everything. They just let him know on the plans of like, yeah, we're going to use your body to use you as our face for the new ISA direction, with Starman at the helm, maybe even thinking about like, presidential stuff and everything. And Sylvester's like, of course, like, I'm not going to follow you. So why did you even bother resurrecting me? It's like, well, we didn't resurrect you for your mind. We resurrected you for your body. And again, my only criticism is that decomposition, technically speaking, Starman's body should have been completely destroyed. Now again, there is the thing where like what they said about the cosmic staff may have been a true factor, where like, yeah, Sylvester should have been decomposed by now, but the energy of the staff kind of kept the body alive in some sort of weird stasis, so that when they resurrected him, they brought him back. At least they didn't get much into that. They basically just admit like, yeah, we're gonna put the Ultra Humanite's mind into your body. And what was kind of the creepiest scene of their all, like they showed, okay, they didn't physically show, but they actually had a scene where Dragon King had a saw blade and he was literally was getting into Sylvester's skull, which I'm like, the sound effect alone was like, it sold me. It was not what I was expecting. I thought it was just going to be like a slow pan away from Sylvester's face, but no, we got Sylvester's face as his skull was getting cut into by Dragon King. It looked very painful. And then we cut to present day where, Starman has just finished burying Pat. Pat is presumably dead by this point, and that's kind of like how we stake up the stakes right now. We head back to the Whitmore house where Courtney's just comparing the dots and I's about Sylvester's recent actions, his advice to the team, and they're just assimilating. They're like, yeah, all this sounds really sabotaging in nature, so they're kind of not on a good footing with Sylvester. And obviously, they don't know the full thing yet, but they already don't trust him 100%. Meanwhile, Cameron and his folks get news from Icicle that supposedly him and Starman made an alliance, so they're going to team up to fight the Ultra Humanite, but they need Courtney and their friends' involvement as well, and, Starman's not really getting through to them, so they're going to use Cameron to try and lure Courtney to the supposed site where the battle's supposed to take place and everything, so Cameron calls up Courtney, tells her that just brief information, like, hey, we're going to be at the tire yard, that's where we're going to meet, I'll see you there, so they have no choice but to go out there and, see what happens next. So they all suit up and head out there. Cindy, Jakeem, and Mike escape from the Dragon King's super secret underground lair into the tire shop as well. But however, the Ultra Humanite / Dragon King is on their tail, so they're going to go hide. Where do we go from here? So there's a good scene where like Pat is actually digs himself out of the grave, thankfully, so he's alive and so just very, very dirtied up. I want to say, I don't think we get anything else. I think we just we all meet up in the junkyard. The four confront the I forgot their names. Icicle's entire family, Cameron included, with Starman. Still under the guise of like, this is just an alliance. This is like, we're going to get ready to go fight Ultra Humanite. Pat also, fake Sylvester makes up a story saying that Pat went to go after Ultra Humanite on his own. He's dead. And that's just the story he's about to weave into their minds. However, Pat shows up in the striped suit, which I'm like, okay, you're not just, cost saving measure even for the finale. So Pat tells him, it's not Sylvester, it's Ultra Humanite. Ultra Humanite gets mad, attacks Pat, so they go off into their own separate battle. The JSA take on the entire Icicle family, which I'm like, okay, that'll be an interesting confrontation, to be honest with you. Meanwhile, Cindy, Jakeem, and Mike are trying to get away from the Ultra Humanite. It's not really going into the direction. Cindy has no choice but to fight herself. It does, obviously, it's not even a comparison. The Ultra Humanite strength, the body of the gorilla is just way too powerful for Cindy to fight, so she doesn't really go that much further into a battle. Jakeem finally finds the right words to say, which I'm like, it's still technically not 100%, but I guess like Thunderbolt's like, you know what? I get what you mean. I'm gonna do it. So he wishes for Dragon King to be put away or just never to bother Cindy again. And Thunderbolt's interpretation of it was like, I'm going to turn him into a stuffed teddy bear, which I'm like, we need that Bebo crossover ASAP. We still got a little bit of chance on the Flash. Let's get that going. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. Pat's fighting fake Sylvester. However, since fake Sylvester has all the moves and everything of the real Sylvester, he instantly kicks Stripe's ass. Pat doesn't really stand much of a chance against him. The JSA members are trying to fight off the family, the Icicle family. However, it doesn't really go so well since, remember, Courtney has no staff, so all she can do right now is really dodge. Damn it, it's been so long. My bad. Rick is trying to fight, Cameron and Icicle, but the hourglass's effects are starting to like really start to damage his mind. He's not really able to fully fight. Beth is going to try and fight Grandpa again, but she still feels bad about the whole heart attack, everything. So she can't really do it. Grandma's about to kill Beth. Yolanda shows up, attempts to save Beth, misses her shot, but however, because Grandma Icicle accidentally shoots an ice beam up above her into a junk car. She dies, which I'm like, Jesus. Well, considering her actions, I'm not surprised, but I'm like, damn. Yeah, so she's dead. Eventually, Courtney has to turn her attention over to Pad, which he gets thrown out of the striped suit. Sylvester's about to finally kill. Fake Sylvester's about to finally kill him. Courtney shows up, has a staff battle with him, trying to take control of the staff. This time, Courtney's words power through as well, considering the fact the staff knows everything about fake Sylvester. So he's trying to pull. The staff's trying to pull away. It works. Courtney has, I think, her iconic superhero moment where it's the iconic pose, the shot, the framing, the camera, everything's perfect. She gets the staff back. She's fully Stargirl again with her confidence and everything. Fake Sylvester gets pissed. However, since, Courtney knows that, okay, there's a real person with powers behind them, Pat volunteers to go take on Fake Sylvester alone without power, which I'm like, I'm not sure, dude. I mean, you look good, decent in your body, but Sylvester's still jacked a bit. But I'm like, okay, you go do your thing. So Pat fights Fake Sylvester. It goes equal. Like, Pat has some moments, Fake Sylvester has some moments. However, Pat does the old traditional, like, grabs a blunt object and hits him on the head, and he's done. The fight's over. So he's defeated. Courtney goes in, has her own proper, like, new fight with Icicle, which honestly, even though it wasn't a complete fight, just showcasing that Courtney has improved so much in the last 10 or so months since her last encounter with Icicle. That definitely was showcased in this fight that, like, she's a little bit more on toe-to-toe. But Icicle's, like, starting to get onto death mode since Cameron keeps betraying him, keeps, like, going against him. And even he says, like, a really shitty thing where he says, like, don't make me do what Brainwave did to his own son, which I'm like, Jesus Christ. The fact that these people are, like, so deluded that they're willing to kill their own children to accomplish their goals, which I'm like, yeah, no, that's definitely messed up. Cameron snaps. He launches an entire ice barrage attack on Icicle. However, it doesn't fully work. I believe, I want to say, yeah, so Icicle dissipates. He kind of becomes an ice storm and, gets away. So I guess that's all the main adversaries. Cameron goes to his grandpa, who's once again suffering from another health problem. And again, like, the family's just not really great right now. Like, the grandma died. Icicle just finally escaped again. So, like, it's just them two right now. So Cameron's like, you know what? I'm going to go away. I'm going to just get out of here. I'll see you if ever. Leaves them. Oh, yeah, there was a moment where, like, I guess Courtney was struggling. Well, there was a scene between the confrontation where Courtney was about to die. And then Barbara uses Tigress's crossbow to shoot an arrow into Icicle, which manages to save her and also Rick. So that was important. I forgot about that scene. And yeah, that was it. Which I'm like, yeah, all the VFX budget for the entire season went into that fight. Which I'm like, it looked pretty good. It looked really good. Like, I can definitely say it could have been believable on the big screen. I'm just saying that. We get back to the next day. Pat brings up the old wooden box that the staff used to be sleeping in. Courtney's like, if you want to use the new fancy cage, even though the guy was a big piece of crap, you're still allowed to do it. The staff's like, nah, home is home. He goes back into the box and is happy. They just talk about a little bit about Pat and Courtney about just everything that occurred with Ultra Humanite and everything. Just kind of like just getting that last sense of femininity between them about the whole situation. They cut back over to the hospital where they meet up with Dr. Midnighter again, who tells them, like, okay, somehow the body is still consciously alive, but what Pat did, which again was just take a rock into fake Sylvester's head, it destroyed the Ultra Humanite's brain, so it's gone. Ultra Humanite is gone. Which I'm like, okay, that worked out pretty well. So now they ask the obvious question next. What do we do with the body? Like, do we just take it off life support? What do we do? But Pat's like, well, according to Ultra Humanite, they killed Sylvester, but they lied this entire season. So there's a chance he could still be alive, and yes, he is still alive somewhere deep in the frozen mountains somewhere. We don't really know. Sylvester's brain is still alive, just repeating the last words of when he was in his body, which is kind of a little scary. Also, how does that make you feel? Like, you just are just a brain. Like, you're just like, I don't know how that feels. Like, I don't want to know how it feels. Never mind. That would just sound really too creepy. Yeah, so that's kind of a big cliffhanger they left it on. Rick goes back to Beth's house, tells them the truth that, like, yeah, I apologize for my actions and I really do need help to try and figure out this hourglass with me, the mental connection to it. Like, he's pleading for their help. Beth also apologizes to them about just her pushing them away. Like, she does need their help. She does really appreciate them, even though they are a little bit overbearing, that they're still family and that they can still be an asset to her. Which is like, oh, great, because we have even more great ideas, which I'm like, great. That's just great. Nice job. Actually, we're spared that entire season, I'm like, thankfully. Courtney is fulfilling the gambler's final wish. He finds his daughter. I don't know if they implied if it's in Blue Valley or not. I guess it's just close by to Blue Valley, I guess, if you pick that location. He finds her daughter, gives her the letter, gives her the picture, gives her everything. And, like, yeah, she just hugs her and, like, thank you that I got some closure in my life, that even though she never got to meet her dad, that it's still, that understand, like, he did try to look for her, and it was just unfortunate circumstances that didn't lead to their reunion, which it does kind of suck. We head back to the family household where it's everyone just enjoying a big old celebratory dinner. Like, they saved the world again, and, they did all this. Everyone's there. Not just the JSA member. Cindy's there. No Artemis, sadly. Beth's family's there as well. Yolanda seeing Beth and her family, like, really getting along well, even with, Beth being a superhero. Yolanda decides to, like, actually, reach a hand and try again with her family, like this time going to admit to them that she is Wildcat and everything. But we don't know the full extent of that, to be honest with you, yet. So they're about to go sit down and enjoy a nice family dinner together. And yeah, just reap their rewards that they got this solved. They saved the day again, and, now they're going to move on with their lives, which... before we get to that, there was one other scene where Courtney wasn't there yet. She was on her way home. She passes by Cameron's house, which is empty, which assumes that they moved out and everything. However, Cameron is there. He summons a snowstorm for her, and you're like, you know what? Let's give this a go. Like, you really want to help me? Okay. So they reconcile. It's assumed their relationship kicked back up again. Who really 100% knows 100%. And yeah, that's where we kind of get the first flash forward, which I'm assuming these flash forwards were like in the case of the scenario where we were going to come back for season 4, that they were going to save these as terms of like, we're wrapping up Justice. We cut to somewhere in Denmark. Icicle's in the middle of his next plan against the JSA. Why he's in Denmark, we don't really know 100%, but he gets trapped in in a weird glue trap. It's Artemis. She's like, I'm here for revenge. I'm gonna kill you. She literally, like, summons an entire wall of fire and kills Icicle once and for all, which I'm like, that is brutal as hell. But you know what? He got what he deserved. He got it. So she got it. I'm not sure 100% if she just goes back to college after that. We don't really 100% notice about that, because the next flash forward is 10 years from now, where we're at the JSA museum. The Shade is giving a tour to a bunch of tourists about the history of the new JSA, the second generation, where we got some pretty big updates in the last 10 years. Obviously, I'm pretty sure this scene would have happened in the original finale, because they did say the original finale was supposed to be after they graduate high school and everything. So all this stuff would have been expository, extra stuff. Where Shade explains the new JSA, Stargirl rebranded herself, Wildcat. Jade's part of the team. I'm assuming her brother's part of the team. Artemis, Cindy branding herself as Dragon Queen. Jakeem going as Jakeem Thunder. Mike has officially became Stripe 2.0. I don't know if I'm forgetting any other members. Yeah, but and also also it's also Rick and Beth as Our Man and Dr. Midnighter, which also he tells the news that they're about to get married. That they're about to get married right now. Like as soon as this door's over, the Shade is going to be officiating their wedding, which I'm like, that's kind of cute. And also Solomon's alive again. I forgot there was a scene where Rick goes back to like Solomon's grave and says like everyone gets resurrected except you. But nope, that was the moment where he comes back up. So they're about to get married, which I'm like, that's great. And he also gives a brief history about their history together, about their early years, which would have given a tease of what season 4 would have been about. I'm pretty sure had things gone like, let's get one more season, I feel like they just put in the season 4 tease there, which again, it didn't happen, but he explains the battle with Eclipso, the battle with the Reformed ISA, the battle with Ultra Cubanite and everything. And he also mentions a villain called the Cosmic Man, the Cosmic, or whatever it is. They would have brought back, so season 4 would have brought back the seven soldiers again, the original team that Sylvester and Pat were on before the JSA. I'm guessing that's how they would have connected to getting Sylvester back eventually. And yeah, so that would have been like an awesome season to see, to be honest with you. That would have been really cool to see, but we never got it. It's also indicated like, yeah, that they're well-known heroes around the world. So I'm pretty sure after high school, they probably went, they globe-trotted and like, are an official team. And the Shade leaves into the note of like, they're still looking for successors, that like there are other heroics, there are other ways for the next generation of heroes to happen, whether it is, whether that is and another descendant pops up or it's another person wielding a legacy item. Who knows? But, there's always a new generation of heroes around the corner. However, before the series ends, the Flash appears. Not Grant Gustin's Flash, John West Ship's Flash, which I'm like, okay, that would have been an entire other season. I'm like, how's this Flash alive? Like, they killed him. So I'm like, how's he alive? We don't know. He's here. He crosses through something. We don't know if it's a dimensional portal or anything. We don't really 100% notice. But yeah, it's he's there. He needs to recruit the Justice Society for another mission. This time including the Shade, who is a honorary member of the team. And he says, like, our adventures aren't over yet. He's like, are they ever are? Which I'm like, again, this was all cool teases for new stuff. And obviously, again, they kept the whole, like, we didn't see them grow up and everything because I guess they want to keep that open-ended just in case something happens, which I do appreciate. I don't think we'll ever see that. But that's how the series ends with, like, the hope that the team turned out all right. It's a weird happily ever after for them. But I'm just wondering. It's like also, but that was it for the episode. For me, this felt like the As Told by Ginger finale, where it had a great final season of story leading up to the end, and then you get a time skip, and you're like, what the hell happened here? What about this? What about that? Like, you want to know what happened next, but you probably never will. It sucks, but your imagination is just left there to wonder, like, what adventures, what conflict, what drama, what more situations they got into in between then and this flash forward. I had so many questions, and I'm really bummed we'll never get to see those questions answered. But at least just knowing that there wasn't like a big villain that like kept them looming. That like no, everything was resolved. Everything's in that weird closed, open-ended mindset where like it's closed for now, but they could easily open the string again for another adventure down the road. But honestly, for me, I thought this was a great finale. I really did. I was very, very bummed I didn't get to see this live with the rest of the fans. Just witnessing what could have been next later, what could have been. But it's the unfortunate nature of TV. You get moments like this where like you aren't able to tell your complete story, but they were able to tell an impactful story just on what we got in before, and I think that was a great part. So for me, I'm giving this episode the highest of honors, 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed. They nailed it home. It wasn't perfect, but they nailed it home. Exactly what this show needed. Who knows? I know Stargirl is going to return one more time in Doom Patrol. No, not Doom Patrol. Titans next year. So we will review that episode. We will come back for Stargirl one more time next year with that Titans episode. But until then, this is it for now. This is the end of the road. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of the Stargirl finale? Let's have a conversation down below. And I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, This has been What's the Two from Action X, reviewing every episode in the third season and final season of Stargirl. If you want to know what we're doing over in What's the Two besides our Stargirl reviews, we're about to start up our Doom Patrol Season 4 episode reviews. So go check them out there. If you don't care about Stargirl, we have one more Stargirl review, the Season 3 review, spoiler free. That'll come up probably later this week when my voice is fully back. But if this is the end, the last episode review. We've done 39 episode reviews. It sucks. It really, really sucks. And I wish we could have gone to tell more stories. I wish, but that just wasn't in the cards. But thank you so much for the support for the last 3 seasons of reviews. It's been a blast. It's been amazing. I wish we could have gotten to do more. But it is what it is. It is what we got. And all we could do now is just be happy of what we did get. And maybe hope we'll get some more in the future. Who knows? The world is ever so uncertain with these revivals and comeback stories. We'll see. But this is the last one for now. But again, this has been What's the Two from Action X. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionXvideos. Ring that bell for notification when our next episode reviews live. Please also ring the bell. Please also follow us on social media. And please also never forget Stargirl. But until we see each other again, thank you so much again for watching me for the last 39 episode reviews. But until we see each other again in the future, in another avenue, maybe if Stargirl does come back, I'll see you then. But if this is truly goodbye, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. But until then, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. Shine bright in light. And until the next time, peace out.